On lake docks and decks, the Reynolds family are stuck with a waterfront that their kids struggle to use.
There's like no space.
It's really frustrating.
They have high hopes.
This is what it's all about, giving them dreams and memories that they're going to cherish.
And it's up to me to come up with a plan to give them the deck and dock they've always wanted.
What do you think?
It's incredible.
Awesome.
We'll set our joists here, run it over there. I'm Marshall Black. I'm a professional contractor, and I've been living and building decks and docks on these lakes for over 10 years. Today, I'm headed to see the Reynolds family. Barb and Kevin, along with their 3 kids, have been coming to this lake for generations.
My dad bought this property, I would say, over 30 years ago, and we used to come as children. We had a family of 6 in a small trailer with a fridge outside that we plug into the hydro pole. My mom would cook in this tiny little stove inside, propane, and that was our summer vacation. I mean, it seems so rudimentary now, but back then it was a dream. We loved it.
Barb and I have known each other for a lot of years. When we started dating, we came up for a weekend, and at that point, it was just a trailer on the property. And I fell in love with the area. I really did.
My dad never got to live his dream and never got to build his retirement home. So my mother really wasn't in the mindset to do so. So we ended up 4 years ago deciding to take over the property and build our lakefront dream.
They might have built their dream home, but this family loves spending time at the waterfront, and that's where their problem is.
So the dock is very difficult to get to. You kind of have to jump. So a lot of people don't even go down there right now.
There's been some falls. It can get a little slippery and a little dangerous.
I would like not to have to see all the clutter around the cottage. It's messy and it's dangerous, right? It's just all in the way. The ultimate goal is to really have a place where everyone can come and enjoy and spend time together as a family.
I was born and raised in this area, so I am very attached to the landscape around here. When we talk about building things to make their life more comfortable here, we want to use this landscape and the rocks and trees and incorporate that into the design of what we're doing.
This is awesome. This is a great template, great start to the project. What do you want to do here? What do you want to achieve?
We wanted something to kind of ground it here, like a deck where we can really enjoy the lake, have folks from different generations be able to sit by the lake to watch the kids, and right now the access is just too difficult.
You've got a good start here on the property, re-landscaping it, making it usable, but there's still this situation here which is very treacherous.
The worst part is at the end of the day, you're having a great day, and then it's like, stop, lift everything back up the stairs. It's no fun for them.
You can lose some momentum if you're having a good day. So momentum can be lost at that moment.
The last thing you want to do at the end of a
Absolutely.
good day.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Turn into a Sherpa.
Yeah.
Is there anything you like about your waterfront? Is there anything you want to keep down there before we transform it all?
Well, it's your parents' rock.
I know. Yeah, we have a rock that's down there. I mean, it's quite large, and we've kind of used it to get in and out of the lake right now because we don't
Right.
have any other options. But it's also a little sentimental. My parents couldn't swim, so they had to stay on the shoreline when we were growing up while we enjoyed the water. So that was their kind of vantage point. So it's kind of sentimental, and if we're building around it, that would be great.
Okay.
If we could keep that.
Maybe stairs off a landing down to that rock so you can still use it.
See
A
it,
little bit of
use
history
it.
still there.
Absolutely.
I think
All
that
right.
would be
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
So you can build right over the rocks?
I think that's
You
the
can build it in.
plan that's formulating in my
Yeah.
crazy mind. We'll cover over top of that and tuck it underneath a deck and cantilever over, so all you see is deck.
That is exciting. And I'm looking forward to how you're going to pull that off, to be honest with you.
I want to bring the lake to the Reynolds family, and I've got 3 weeks and a $30,000 budget to build them a huge tiered deck that will get them down to their dock in style. Above the Reynolds' existing floating dock, their ramp will lead to a second level, a cantilevered deck that juts over the water. Steps lead up from that to another big deck with a surprise, a built-in storage unit for all of their water toys. A series of steps and landings will organically wind up the hill to the cabin to get them down to the water comfortably. It's the first day of the build, and the materials have arrived right on time.
The first challenge I see with this piece of property is the waterfront. We have a steep slope, and we have uneven rocks and boulders. We have to incorporate a living area down at the waterfront where we can create some flat space for them to live.
All right, guys, first thing we need to do is we have to excavate some of this earth here and see what's underneath. This terrain is a real headache, but my guys are the best in the business. They've been helping me solve problems like this for over a decade. I'll need 2 guys on shovels. Curtis and Rob are excavating the steep slope so we can determine the square footage of our upper deck by figuring out how far back we can set our beams. Steve-O and I are measuring the rocks for the placement of the crucial crossbeam. So what we need to achieve is we have to get this first beam out as far as possible so that we can cantilever over the water. So we'll have 1 anchor in that rock, 1 anchor in this rock. This guy here can serve as our middle post for support. We're gonna need our secondary beam for our joist, which will be somewhere around here. The first challenge. This first rock is the linchpin for the crossbeam. We have to figure out how to incorporate these huge rocks. They're just too big to move, so we're gonna have to work with them. I don't think this stump's gonna work the way it is, Steve-O, for the level. It's not flat enough. If you can grab a Sawzall, we'll make it more flat, and then it's a great spot for our laser level. Within 1/8. So anywhere around here, I think it's good. We're gonna be able to get the beam farther out than I had thought, which is great. We're notching out the rock right now so that we can have a level area for the saddle to sit nice and balanced so it's not gonna tip or warp. All right, I think we're good for the saddle. Scalpel, saddle. Getting these measurements for the beams just right is essential at the beginning stage. Once the beams are set in the saddles, they become the foundation to the entire project. Ah! Okay, so what I've done here is I've just set up our temporary posts. I'll run the laser level, cut these posts off at the same height as that saddle on the rock, then we can set our beam. The building bylaw, it is very specific on how much square footage I'm allowed over the water and how much I'm allowed over the land. And when you're building something organic like this, you know, on paper, it works great. In reality, there's many obstacles to deal with. The Reynolds family are living in their dream home on the lake. All they need now is to get to the water. The property is steep and the waterfront is rocky, making it difficult for the family to enjoy their surroundings.
It's a burden, and there's a lot of eye rolling and a lot of, obviously there'd be a lot more fun if the stuff was already stored. So that is something we're looking to resolve.
I've got 3 weeks to create a multi-level deck with enough space for everyone. But there are rules about just how much land you can cover with a deck like this. And with my organic building style, I'm worried that this deck might break the local bylaws. So at one stage of the game, I wasn't exactly sure if I was gonna be way over my square footage allotment for overland, but luckily, that rock ledge here that comes in is forcing my back deck to be farther over, which is shrinking my square footage over land. So everything's working out peachy. You there? Now that we've set the first beam in place here, we're working on setting the back beam. Then on top of those 2 beams, we're gonna set our joists, anchor them down, cantilever over the water.
So far, so good. We've cut the rock down for the first beam. That all went well. How's it going here, guys? What are we finding?
Well,
Rock or earth?
roots.
The back beam, we've run into a little bit of trouble.
So that the joists sit on that and hang her off of this guy.
If I do that, I can anchor the beam in here, but then I can't anchor it back here.
The only solution is brute force. More digging, more work.
Yeah, poor Curtis, I think we gotta take some more root out. The root of all evil is right in front of us.
Thanks to Curtis's grunt work, we can move ahead with putting the decking down.
Rob's gonna grab one end of the chalk line, I'm gonna grab the other and do a snap. Then we're gonna grab a skill saw and we're gonna cut that off, giving us the shape of the deck. Once I came up with the idea to angle this piece here, everything started coming together for me. When I'm done with a deck piece like this, it's more like a functional piece of art. Sometimes I'm more surprised how it turns out than the actual customer. What do we got?
168, 198.
So we're pretty much 16 feet right to there. Let's make the upper deck 16 feet long, because we're gonna be coming up over this rock here with our stairs. It won't interfere. And then we've got our new elevation up here. So that's what we have to excavate. That's what I call woodworking.
There's still a lot of excavation to do for the next level of the deck. If we're gonna stick to our timeline for the Reynolds, we just can't do it all by hand.
We're going that way.
So it's time to bring in the big guns. Say hello to my little friend.
This is gonna save a lot of shovel work. Thank goodness it's here.
Woo! At the Reynolds cabin, we only have 3 weeks to transform their lakefront,
We're going that way.
and the excavation has turned into the biggest part of this job. It's times like this that we need to bring in some reinforcements in the form of an excavator. While the excavator clears the space we'll need for the upper deck, I'm working on the fine details on the lower deck.
I'm trying to get a nice, accurate shape of the stone here, so I can scribe this board to that, so this entire deck will form the shape of the existing rock. It's very important for me to do a really good job with the scribing, because it just shows a lot of craftsmanship, and it really blends the deck into the environment. The pencil spacing is an old carpenter's trick. It's just something you always have on hand, so you use it. It works out great. The spacing is consistent for your decking, and it's just something that carpenters have been doing for generations. I really wish I had some sandpaper. I don't have any sandpaper, so sometimes the best thing is go old school. Piece of rock, natural sandpaper. Beautiful.
The excavator helped us dig in fast, so we've got the joist for the next level of the deck going in already.
We've got the lower dock on. It's awesome. It's exactly what I was hoping to achieve. We're over all the rubble and boulders at the waterfront, cleaned it all up. Barb and Kevin, this is gonna be their party central. It's gonna be fantastic. Up here, the higher level, which is gonna be kind of sitting, watching all the action going on down here. It's been going great, but then as we worked our way over here, man, this rock just came right on up out of nowhere as we excavated. It's higher than the bottom of our joist, which is a big issue.
If we can't get rid of it, we won't be able to build this part of the deck. So we're looking at potentially losing 75 square feet of living space for the Reynolds.
We tried an expanding product to kind of break the rock up and remove it. We showed up in the morning, the product didn't do anything. So now, plan B. We're gonna have to cut it up, chip it up, maybe even scribe a couple joists over it. Luckily, this is where my experience and creativity will come into play, and I'm gonna make it happen. This looks great. We're just finishing up the stairs here right now. Rob's got them scribed into the rock around here, which is really nice. Keeps with the scribed feel sucked into the landscape. They're gonna be able to access their favorite little rock down here. Love it. We've relocated the ramp and floating dock. We've put it on a bit of an angle to keep with the whole flow coming down. It's very organic feeling. Looks great, feels great. As you make your way up here, you can see the landscape still isn't really helping us out. So I've decided we've got to add a bit to the project. We need some platforms. We're gonna step them up, try and get it up higher so that the overall flow of the project is easy all the way down, all the way back up. I'm just trying to figure out the angle of the approach of the first little deck here. I think I'm gonna luck out again, just with my elevations, that our top boards should be right around here. I should be able to do some nice scribing into the rock here as well, which ties in the scribing we did down there and the stairs. It's gonna feel very custom, very cool. I think overall the shape's gonna work. A little bit wider on this face. I think it's gonna work great.
We're right at the end of our 3-week deadline, and I have just enough time to build the family a little something special. Storage isn't sexy, but the livability factor it adds is huge.
What I ended up creating here is some nice storage benches. They can put their life jackets, paddles, long stuff like fishing rods, everything in here. Keep it nice and dry. A smaller little section here for some more storage. Put some nice cushions on top of here and store them away as well so they don't blow away. Just bring them out when they want to use them. Creates a nice little nook. You can sit here, hang out. I think they'll love it.
Over the past 2.5 weeks, we've made a ton of progress on this deck, and the Reynolds family isn't gonna believe the space I've created on their rocky, treacherous waterfront.
Oh my, that's amazing.
Awesome.
It's incredible.
The Reynolds family is gonna be here any minute, so we've gotta finish this job up quickly. After 3 weeks of work, I managed to bring it in $2,000 under budget at $28,000. And it's turned out beautifully. But let's see what the Reynolds think.
All right, guys, right this way. Your brand new outdoor living area.
Oh my, that's amazing.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh my, it's so big.
What do you think?
It's incredible. Look at the benches.
It's
Oh
places
my
to hide
God.
things.
Are you kidding?
Got a
Is
little-
it storage?
there- you
oh,
got
that's
storage under the
amazing.
seats.
Oh,
Got a little bit
love
of privacy
it.
for you here.
Oh my gosh, my kids' stuff will all be away finally.
And it smells like cedar down here.
all
It's like a
cedar,
sauna.
The first thing that caught my eye was the deck storage. We didn't really talk a lot about that. We were talking about the deck, so it was a surprise to see the actual deck boxes. And look at these stairs.
Exactly. Stairs/bleachers.
I never thought about that. It's just so
And
usable.
the farther down we come, the more part of the lake you feel, right? Good job,
Let's
Marshall.
come down to the
All
lower
right.
level. This deck is even bigger than the upper one. Lots of action can go on around here.
This is, yeah, again, what a great spot to hang out. And I remember you mentioning cantilever when we started, and I had no idea what you were talking about. But if this is what cantilever means, good for you, because it's
like
exactly what I'm looking
You're
for.
floating on the lake. Finally, my mom gets to come sit down here and just watch her grandkids, which is always what we wanted. My dad bought this property to have this, right? All he wanted was to spend time with his family. So I think we really made him very proud. And I think he'd be very proud of the job that Marshall did. And I think he's gonna be with us when we're enjoying it for years to come. Look at the view from here. That's what we always talked about.
Vistas. Vistas, Marshall.
Vistas.
You created a vista for my family. It is. It's outstanding.
Look at the detailing here is unreal.
I scribed it into the rock here just to kind of tie this whole area into your property and make it feel a part of your landscape.
I just can't believe how you built those stairs right into the rock. It just
perfect.
looks perfect.
I know, because now we can use it to bring the kayaks in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Easy and safe.
yes. And kept the sentimental rock
Kept
that
the
I asked.
sentimental rock.
Oh my gosh.
Let's head on down here.
So no one could ever get to the dock, if you remember.
Oh, that was a big problem. It was a
So people would
hop,
literally
step, and a
have to
jump to get
jump.
down here, and that's easy peasy. right
Risk
there.
your life to go to the
Yes,
dock.
it was,
Absolutely.
it was.
Bringing things down onto the dock is so much easier now than it was before. It was a death trap.
Now it looks so easy. Oh my gosh, it looks beautiful from here too.
It does.
Marshall, you've brought all the dreams we wanted to this property, and honestly, I've been thinking about it since I was a little girl, so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We absolutely love it. It was more than we imagined, so thank you so much.
It's my
Thank you.
pleasure. I'm so happy to be a part of creating this for you and your family.
I'm so glad we found you because I don't know who else could have had this vision. I certainly didn't. And I'm forever grateful.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
I don't get the hug.
Hug it out, hug it out.
Seeing Barb and Kevin's reaction for the first time made me feel so amazing.
When I first saw it, I imagined myself 25 years ago standing on this property where there was nothing and having this idea that we will one day all sit down at the lake.
The best part of the whole project was really
Not
not
knowing.
knowing
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
how it was going to turn out. And I was absolutely floored.
I think one of the biggest challenges we've had is that my mom couldn't make it down to the lake. Now it's perfect for her to sit where we can all be together, and I feel like we're actually enjoying the lake together. And so I got really emotional because it was like seeing your dream come true for the first time.